Okay, I'm here with Kim. This is Dr. David, and we're going to be talking about uh, health and eating and nutrition and exercise. And the title, I think this is really an interesting title: How to Never Go on a diet Again and Yet Look and Feel Your Best. Right, Kim? And Kim, I was shocked to hear just before we started shooting that you have never been on a diet before, and you have had 6 kids. You are close to, let's not tell everybody your age, but
That's okay.
you're getting there. But you look great. But what is the secret? What are we talking about here? The problem with most people, especially ladies, is that they go on a diet and then it fails, and then there's a rebound. They gain more weight and they feel bad about themselves, and they try another diet, and it's one thing after the other. Not only is this not healthy for them, but also it can be very bad for their self-esteem. So we need to get it right.
Right.
What do you have to say about that?
Well, I find that like you were talking about women going on one diet and it fails, and I have found that my philosophy in life is a 90% rule. I eat 90%, 90 to 95% healthy, and make good choices with my eating 90 to 95% of the time, and then that gives me the room for that 5% of the time if I want to eat a cookie or I want to have some kind of dessert or whatever. And so I don't have to feel guilty about it. I just can eat it, and I'm good with that. And so I find that if I make the good choices most of the time, then and just make it a way of life. Like when I go out to a restaurant, I never choose fried foods. I never eat those because I know what that's going to do for hardening of the arteries, and from my nursing background, I don't want that. So even when I go out to eat, I choose healthy foods, and so um, I think that anyone can just make it a way of life and just make the right food choices instead of having to go on diets. I think exercise is really important. From the time I started having children, I kind of brought my exercising home instead of working out at the health spa. I found that with a baby in tow, that was kind of hard to do and to get there. And so I actually went to some like Play It Again Sam Sports and got a stair stepper, and I do things with our family. We stay active, water skiing or rollerblading or biking or whatever. But I make sure that I get in 30 to 45 minutes of exercise 4 to 5 days a week. And so I've just made that a way of life also. And so as a result, I've never had to diet, but still I feel great, and have never had to go up and down in sizes, clothing. I've just stayed in the same size for all these years, and so I encourage other women to do the same. Um, Another thought is not to grocery shop hungry. I know a lot of women do that, and then you make bad food choices, and you end up picking things that are gonna. I try to stay away from a lot of processed foods, and I serve lots of raw fruits and vegetables. My two favorite kitchen tools that I have are my juicer and my Vitamix, and I make lots of good healthy smoothies in the juicer, um, and in my Vitamix, and then with my juicer, I did a video on that on
Right,
juicing,
right.
but I will juice a countertop full of veggies, and that's my breakfast. And so, and several of my kids will drink that with me, and my husband is a wonderful sport. He will always drink it with me, and whatever it is that I've concocted. But um, but we get a lot of fruits and vegetables, way more than our 5 recommended a day, because we do that, because we juice and have the vegetables and the fruit.
What's a Vitamix?
A Vitamix is a kitchen appliance that is kind of like a real beefy blender, and I can throw an orange in here, and I can throw and it will blend it, and it's amazing. You can get so much more out of your fruits, and I use that all day long, every day. I use that several times a day, and so that's become one of my more valuable tools in my kitchen, because I can get lots of healthy fruits and vegetables, and put them in the Vitamix and make soups and sauces and salsas, and instead of the buttery, thick, floury sauces, we can make all kinds of healthy fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. And so I really use it a lot. So I really highly recommend it.
Right. So obviously it takes some getting used to. I mean, people generally, most of the people in this culture just aren't used to just taking fruits and veggies, even though they come in a great mix. And we're used to sugary, floury, carb-laden foods.
Mhm.
How do we make that transition, wean ourselves away from this, from
Well,
those?
even things like when my husband and I will sit down sometime in the evening, maybe have a glass of wine together or something, instead of just having the option of having chips or crackers or something like that. I'll pull out raw vegetables, and we can dip raw vegetables in a dip or something like that. But just to think simple. I like to think of eating things as close to the way that God made them as possible. And if you can just think simple, instead of rich, thick, heavy sauces that are going to taste great going down, but boy, you just don't feel quite right afterwards, and they put extra cellulite on you and everything else. So if you just think eating things simply, the way pure and the way that God made them, I think that just about anything that He made. I mean, I know there are exceptions. People have some food allergies or whatever, but I think that for the most part, eating things the way that God made them, there's no harm in doing that.
Right, right. Great. So we've talked about eating right, exercising, especially if you've just had a baby. You got to stay on top of that. Making the right
Can I make
choices.
a comment on that when you're
Yeah.
talking about having a baby? When I have babies, I'm not saying this to brag, I'm just saying this, that this is just a fact. When I have a baby, and I've had 6 of them, I'm usually back in my jeans within about a week.
Wow.
And it's because I make the right food choices even while I'm pregnant.
Wow.
And so, and I don't use that as my time to binge and to splurge and to have everything that I want in sight. And I will admit to this: when Greg and I go out to eat, I usually eat what I have on my plate, and then I look at him and say, "Hey, are you going to eat all of that?" And I definitely have an increased appetite, like any woman does pregnant. But I just still make the right, wise food choices, and choose healthy things. You can, I mean, depending on the places you're going, if you're going to only fast food, you can usually find something healthy on the menu.
Right.
And so just go for the food that's more light and just prepared. Um, think simplicity.
And drink water rather than.
A lot of water.
Okay.
I try to get in my 8 glasses of water a day. I really try to. My husband jokes with me because I've got cups of water all over the house, but I do drink water all day long.
And that helps to keep you hydrated. And we've had someone on our webinars actually talk about the importance of being hydrated and how that can affect even the way your body works and communicates, how your cells communicate. So very, very important. Great.
Absolutely, since our bodies are made up of 70% water.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, Kim, thank you so much.